I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Good morning. Greetings, salutations. How is everybody this morning? Coming up on the show today, Christopher Wray resigns.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Nancy Mace is in a sling. Gwen Walls is psychotic.
Cuckoo.
She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And Justin Trudeau brags about his feminism. All that and so much more. Please check us out on all of our socials, you guys. Do that. Have you done that? chicksontheright.com/links is where you can find all the things, all of them. And then click subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. I don't know what you're doing with your life. If you haven't done that, click it. Do it right now. Take a second and do that. Also, you guys, you only get one retirement. So schedule your free Know Your Risk portfolio review with our friend Zach at knowyourriskradio.com. Don't put it off. Do it today. Do it.
Do it. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Thursday. Is that what this is?
It is Thursday. It's been it's the Monday of Thursday in Thursday land.
It really is. It really is.
A long week. Yeah.
And you guys, it's been yesterday, like the past 24 hours, I would say, have been kind of it's just been a weird newsy cycle. Like it's just been weird news, I would say. And so today, mishmashy is how I would describe it. It's going to be a very mishmashy sort of show. So let's just get right into it, because actually, let me remove this banner so that you can see that I am named for Senator Fetterman today.
Oh,
because he's said and done some things that are, he's a weirdo, but sometimes he's a good weirdo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's starting to really recover from that stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell things are different now than they were a year ago,
And he has decided to join Truth Social.
Oh,
so this is really, really interesting. He decided to join it, and now he is posting some pro-MAGA content. He said in his very first post that the Trump hush money case was bullshit, and he talked about the Hunter Biden case being the pardoning being bullshit, all of that. I mean, it's just very interesting that he's decided to go onto Trump's platform and say these things. So that was like the first thing that was interesting about Fetterman that happened yesterday. And then, of course, while all of Trump's cabinet picks are going around the Senate trying to get, the approval and the confirmation from various senators, Fetterman being one of them, he posted about meeting up with Elise Stefanik, saying that she was always a hard yes, but that it was a pleasure to have a conversation. He supports defunding UNRWA for its documented Hamas infiltration and fully looks forward to her holding the UN accountable for its endemic anti-Semitism and blatant anti-Israel views.
So interesting, isn't it?
Right?
It is very, very interesting. And look how gigantic he is.
Oh my God. He's enormous.
Yeah.
Absolutely giant.
Yeah. I mean, now somebody is saying, I think it's Jason, Jason Decker said that Fetterman will say whatever it takes to stay in office. And, there may be some truth to that. There may be. However, I do think that he probably, he will say a lot of the truths when it comes to Israel, whereas a lot of not his constituents, but a lot of his colleagues will not.
Yeah.
So he's willing to just say the things, I've appreciated his stance on Israel, whereas a lot of other Democrats they say nothing.
Right. And I feel like they feel pressure from their own constituents to be sort of not as outspoken about their pro-Israel stance as Fetterman has been. And so it is nice that he does that.
And Fetterman's like, F you, I'm going to say what's right. And he does. And so I appreciate that. At least on that issue, I'm like, you go.
Right?
You lurch, you say it.
Exactly. You guys, Christmas is a coming, and I know that can be a stressful time for some people. And so if you find yourself stressed more than calm, there is a solution.
I'm stressed. Hi, I'm the problem. It's
You
me.
love Christmas.
I do. I love it, but it can be very stressful because I do all the things. Moms do all the things, right?
Yeah.
We're moms.
Except me. I
moms.
don't do anything.
That's right. Mock just relaxes during Christmas.
Well, here is your solution. You may already be taking a multivitamin from Healthy Cell, which if you are, that's great. This is their Calm Mood. This is, once again, they provide all of these amazing supplements in gel pack form, which is really, really delicious. This one is, I think, the lemon berry, which is super yummy. But this gives you support. It supports relaxation and stress relief. And you get the equivalent of this many regular pills in mood supporting nutrients in just one gel pack, which absorbs into your system 165% better than all of those pills or tablets can. So the absorption is great. The taste is great. The effect it has on your mood and your mind is great. And it does all that, by the way, without making you sleepy. So if you're looking for sleep support, that's a whole other Healthy Cell product. The REM sleep is great for that. So again, depending on what your specific health needs are, Healthy Cell has an answer for you. You can go to healthycell.com/chicks and use promo code chicks. You'll get 20% off of your first order. Again, that's healthycell.com/chicks, promo code
Chicks. Scarlett takes it. She takes it. She loves it. Yeah, somebody else, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, said that everybody needs to be like Mock this Christmas and just not do anything.
I'll tell you what, years ago when my family, like collectively, extended family too, all agreed we are not doing presents except for kids. It has been it's just been so much more chill.
I totally
to
hear
worry
you
about that.
If I could get my adult kids to just freaking do that, that would be great. Yeah, but I got one. Our oldest daughter, she just will not let go. She won't do it. She won't.
Has to do the
if you're listening, Alyssa, I'm talking to you. All right? Yeah.
Also, really interesting thing happened in the world of journalism yesterday, and that is that well, first of all, Pete Hegseth apparently got notified by ProPublica, which is super left wing, that they contacted him and they said, hey, we're gonna be running a report about you that you were never accepted into West Point, which he has claimed that he was and just didn't go, but that he was accepted in 1999. And so they reached out to him, and Pete Hegseth tweeted, we understand that ProPublica is planning to publish a knowingly false report that I was not accepted to West Point. Here's my letter of acceptance, signed by the West Point superintendent. So he got in front of it, tweeted that out, and then the editor-in-chief of ProPublica, this guy by the name of Jesse Eisinger, said, Hegseth has said that he got into West Point but didn't attend. We asked West Point Public Affairs, which told us twice on the record that he had not even applied there. We reached out. Hegseth's spokesperson gave us his acceptance letter, so we didn't publish the story. That's journalism.
Oh, really?
This was the comeback. But in that, they missed the fact that what would have been journalism is saying, we checked with West Point and they lied about Pete Hegseth's record, which is what Sean Davis pointed out, saying West Point lied to you about the incoming SecDef and you didn't think it was worth a story. That's not journalism. You were looking to run a partisan hit, and when it failed, you tried to slink away and pretend it never happened.
Right. Why would West Point lie? Why would they do
that?
What is
that?
What the hell's going on with West Point?
Right?
Yeah, you're absolutely. That is insane.
Insane. And so there was a lot of chitter chatter about that on the interwebs yesterday, but he did in fact get accepted. He just didn't go. And then West Point ended up saying, oh, we made a mistake. Our bad.
Oh, did you? Did you make a mistake? Yeah. Are you guys turning out liberals now? What's going on with that?
My God.
What a joke, man.
Just ridiculous. Uh-oh, Maisie wants out and she can't have out because there's people here right now.
Maisie,
all right. Anyway.
No, Maisie, you can't go out now.
Maisie, lay down. Just lay down.
Maisie.
So yesterday we were on Sean Spicer's show. If you haven't had a chance to check out his episode yesterday, make sure to do that because we were on it. It's always super, super fun times with Sean Spicy. And we talked about Nancy Mace being accosted on Capitol Hill by some anti-her trans activist weirdo.
He's anti-Nancy.
Right. And
Uh-huh.
so we talked about that a bit. And then we'll just kind of talk about that story as it happened. So she had tweeted out about this assault. She had said, I was physically accosted tonight. This was on the 10th on Capitol grounds over my fight to protect women. Capitol Police have arrested him. All the violence and threats keep proving our point. Women deserve to be safe. Your threats will not stop my fight for women. Hold the line. And then I think it was Andy No who said, here's who got arrested. It was like some activist by the name of James McIntyre from Illinois. He's a LGBTQ plus activist. So he's the one that got arrested. But then things got weird because then the Daily Beast ran a story suggesting that there were witnesses to this assault who claimed it was nothing more than a handshake, and that Nancy Mace has like made the story explode because she just wants attention, essentially.
Okay.
So that got reported. And then there were photos of Nancy Mace yesterday walking around with a sling. So, you know, I guess Daily Beast would say she's faking it, or I don't even know what they would say, but she's walking around in a sling, claims to be very sore from having her arm yanked by this guy. She fought back saying this guy was easily 3 times my size by weight, and he's a grown man. Stop making excuses for assaults on women. And then Trump called her. And so she tweeted about that, saying, thank you, President Trump, for the call just now to check in on me. I'm going to be fine just as soon as the pain and soreness subside. January 20th cannot come soon enough.
She should have hit him back, man. This is the thing. It's the only thing that I would have hit him back.
You would have. I know you would have.
Yeah, I would.
You would have gotten all up in his grill.
All up in his business. This is the only thing
Well,
that I
and
would have changed about that situation, right?
And it's not unusual for Congress people to get chased down by regular people because it is the people's house and they want answers from their Congress people. So here's an example of some trans activist chasing her down the hallway. Apparently Nancy Dog brings her dog to work because she's walking a dog. Yeah. And she's on the phone, and yet this person continues to pester her. Here's what happened. This is not the person who assaulted her, by the way.
Hi, Congresswoman Mace. How are you? Hi, good, thank you. I'm just wondering if transit interns and staffers can use the private bathroom in your office, or if you have another place that you suggest to use the bathroom.
She's on a phone call right now. I'm on a
Okay,
phone
I know, but
call.
people can't use the bathroom. It's trying to stop us from using the bathroom,
You
so
can
it's really
totally
important.
use
God,
the
that's so
bathroom.
rude.
Just use that of your gender. It's common
Okay, are you going to be
sense.
deploying your staff around to the Capitol and
Okay,
checking people
are you
before
going
they
to
enter?
harass me? What's
What
your
is
first
that?
and last name?
Am I going to harass you?
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
a public elected official, so I'm just asking you a
You're
question.
not going to harass me
No,
over
I'm not
this.
harassing you.
Use whatever bathroom your biological gender is. That's how this
Are you
works.
going to be deploying
okay?
your staff to check people on the way in and
Oh
out?
my God, you are insufferable.
The bullshit from people who are insane.
Okay, well that's ridiculous. People just want to use the bathroom and you're bullying them.
Use the bathroom that you were born with. Use that. It's common
ridiculous.
sense, babe. It's common
You
sense.
should read up on the
It's
American
common
Medical
sense.
Association and what
It's
they have
not
to say
science.
about
I would
it.
encourage
It's
you
not
to follow
science.
biological
Mm.
science. Go look it up in the
Okay.
dictionary or the encyclopedia.
Seriously, what was that? What was that?
I
Was-
don't know.
Somebody needs. I'm asking a legit question. Was that a male or a female? I don't know. Somebody's gonna have to tell me what that was.
Maybe that was
Yeah.
their point, that like, are you going to have to check the genitals of everybody before they're allowed to use the bathroom?
You're gonna be during the American. I'm not gonna read crap, okay? Like this should be easy for you. The fact that we're having this conversation, she's absolutely right. You should know what's in your pants.
Right.
What's in your pants should dictate what bathroom you go to. Figure it out. This wasn't an issue 20 years ago.
I know,
Now all
right?
of a sudden this is an issue. For crying out loud. God, I could never do that job. I would seriously
my
be
God.
swinging. I couldn't do it. Way more
And then
patience than me.
You would be a story man. That would be actually kind of fun to see.
I would not be, I'd be in jail, Mog. Good Lord, these
Okay, maybe
people are
we do.
insufferable. They are insufferable. They're just that individual. She was there just because it's like there are other problems in the world. You have nothing better to do than to harass this congresswoman about bathrooms. I mean, figure it out.
I know.
You seem like an adult. Why are we doing this? It's so stupid. Seriously.
Well, and once again, guess who came to her defense? It was none other than John Fetterman. Who said, I condemn this attack, one that's part of an emerging national conversation, condoning, celebrating, or rationalizing the attack or execution of somebody with differing views. Apparently, it's open season on anyone if you disagree with them, and it is unacceptable. And good for him for saying it.
He's 100% correct.
Right?
Yeah, right.
But John Fetterman, man, I'm all the praise today for John Fetterman.
And I would be okay with him like standing next to me as I was walking down the hall. I'd be like, you're big. You can... Yeah, it's good.
Also, I know we keep talking about the fact that this is Christmas season, but you guys, it's the 12th. Like, it is really happening.
I know it's coming.
Days.
It's like,
really,
it's
really
happening.
happening.
It's happening. Don't panic.
And if you're entertaining, or if you're just struggling with what to get somebody that is hard to buy for, have you considered cheese?
Oh, I've considered cheese.
Because cheese is always worth considering.
Charcuterie, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And why not have people that have artisan experience, a veteran family-owned business from Atlanta? They have over 25 years of specialty food expertise. They're the ones that are putting together these amazing cheese and charcuterie packages for you to either entertain with or to gift. You can just visit the best named company in the universe, screaminggoatco.com, for the perfect products. You will have the best entertainment. You're going to get all the compliments because it's delicious cheese. They have packages that start at just $39.99. They have free shipping. And when you use code CHICKS at screaminggoatco.com, you will also get 15% off of your order. I would love to be able to show you a sample, but I have eaten all of it.
Me too. Me too. I know I love cheese.
Screaminggoatco.com. Use code CHICKS. All right. We also need to talk about this, and we have talked about it, the fact that there are sickos out there, to Fetterman's point, who just believe that, like, if you align with somebody ideologically, then you excuse horrible behavior on the part of those people. There are people contributing in droves.
And look,
whoops, that's not what I wanted to show you yet. This is what I wanted to show you. There are supporters who have launched a fund that has already raised $35,000 for Luigi Mangione's legal expenses, because they're obsessed with him. And this is insane, right?
It is absolutely insane. Yeah. God, what is going on with people? Listen, I get it. I get that there are people out there who are disgruntled, when it comes to the insurance industry. I get it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have back surgery. Everybody's had surgeries. People have family members who have gone through stuff. But like to side with a guy who just executed a man, come on, what are we doing? That's not what we're supposed to do. It's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to look at the industry and go, okay, how can we reform that industry? That's something we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be like, oh, let's go out there and just start executing people.
Right. You can't, this is crazy, because then it just does become open season on any executive of a company that does things that you disagree with. This is not how a normal society functions. This is crazy.
And I can't
it's absolutely insane.
We have to say this out loud.
Right. But even Senator Elizabeth Warren is just like, well, you push people's buttons and this is what they're going to do. You can't really help it.
They say it over and over. Violence is never the answer. This guy gets a trial who's allegedly killed the CEO of UnitedHealth. But you can only push people so far.
Oh, really?
And then they start to take matters into their own hands.
Yeah.
Would she say the same thing about January 6 people? Would she?
That's a great question.
You push people so far and then they're going to do something. Really? Really, Pocahontas? Because her to get up on a platform and to say that, it's so incredibly irresponsible, because she's obviously she's a paid, we pay her to lead people, to represent American. I feel like there should be some sort of accountability for her doing that. It's completely unacceptable. It's like she's saying, oh, that's totally fine for that person to go out there and execute somebody. He
was pushed too far. He was,
right.
What are you going to do?
This is the same woman who would say that, oh, anybody who is there on January 6th should go to jail, right? And oh my God. And it's totally not the same thing.
Right.
And then this guy, like point blank with a silencer on the street of New York City, just flat out executed a man, a father with, a husband and a father just executed him. And we're supposed to think that that's okay.
And the fact that so many people do is whack.
Right. I mean, listen, I'm not a fan of the insurance industry either, but this is not okay. We are not those people. America is not that.
We're supposed to be better than this.
Right.
I mean, this is, it's absolutely crazy. Okay, switching gears. Janet Yellen was interviewed recently. She is just the worst little goblin. And she was asked, and maybe she feels okay about saying this now that she's on her way out, essentially, that the Biden administration's on their way out. You remember all throughout the Biden administration, how often she talked about, oh, inflation is transitory and all the spending is fine. Our economy is great. Well, she was asked point blank by this guy, turns out you guys are leaving with like the most gigantic deficit ever. What do you have to say for yourself? And now here's what she is saying.
One last question. One not so great aspect of the legacy you and President Biden leave behind is a very large budget deficit, roughly 6% of GDP. Are you sorry you couldn't make more progress on that? And how much of a risk does that pose to the economy?
Well, I am concerned about fiscal sustainability. And I am sorry that we haven't made more progress. I believe that the deficit needs to be brought down.
Oh, you believe that now? You believe that now? She's like, and these shrooms are really good that I've been smoking or taking. What do you do with shrooms? Do you smoke them? I don't know.
I don't even know what you do.
We should ask her. We should ask her what you do with them because she's doing them. Whatever it is she's doing with them.
I think she just flat out ate them. I think she just ate them up.
She just ate them all. Is that what she's doing? God, this woman.
I know. I just couldn't believe it. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that we didn't make more progress on this.
Yeah.
Our bad.
Sorry, we effed everything up and lit everything on fire. Right. And I'm going to continue to get paid and I'm going to get a really great pension. Sorry. Bye.
Yeah.
No accountability.
Trump has done something very, very interesting when it comes to invites for his inauguration. And by the way, he's going to be ringing the bell at the stock market this morning. Or maybe that's already happened. I don't even know when that happens, but he is ringing the bell. And then listen to Peter Doocy talk about who he's invited to the inauguration celebration.
The president-elect is about to be on the move. Tomorrow morning, he will ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange as the newly minted Time Magazine Person of the Year. And looking ahead to next month, CBS News is reporting tonight that the president-elect has extended an inauguration invite to Chinese President Xi Jinping. Brett.
Oh, that would be something.
That's very interesting.
Right? Can you imagine?
Yeah. I do love how he's out doing all the things. Mm-hmm. Like when the second he got, the second he won the election, he was like, all right, it's time for me to step up. And now you have spoken. And so I'm your daddy now.
And I'm going to start working. Mm-hmm. It's time to get to work.
And I love it. I love all of it. And Biden is it just shows you how sad and pathetic he is and weak because Trump is out there. He's basically our president now. There's stuff getting done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things are happening. Things are moving.
Right. He's not even president yet. Great.
The fact that we know so much about this Luigi guy and that everybody is like fussing about him, they know all about his past, they know everything about his family, all of it, and that we still don't know so much about the two people who tried to assassinate President Trump is freaking bonkers. And Jesse Waters had a report last night about the second shooter and the massive failure by the Secret Service in that particular incident to restrain this guy. They apparently had a shot at him within 5 feet and missed 6 times.
Oh my God.
New revelations from the Trump assassination task force. According to their report, the Secret Service agent who spotted Ryan Ruth in the bushes outside Trump's golf course was only 5 feet away when he opened fire and missed him. Not once, not twice, 6 times.
Oh.
He missed him 6 times from 5 feet. How does a trained agent who passed the firearms test miss a target 5 feet away? That's not all. The report says the Secret Service found out at 2:30 in the morning that Trump would be golfing later that day. but they didn't secure the course, allowing Ruth to camp out for 12 hours before anyone saw him. Meanwhile, Ruth appeared in federal court this morning, and his legal team signaling they're going to go with the insanity defense. How convenient. Ruth's public defender said he has had multiple meetings with a mental health expert while in jail, and the witnesses who saw him before the arrest say he was hallucinating and delusional, of course. Prosecutors also revealed that Ruth has been doing a lot more writing behind bars than initially reported. Ruth has written nearly 40 letters to news outlets in an attempt to persuade them that he's an honorable guy, but they were intercepted before they reached their targets. We also know that only 17 of the 18 cell phones found in Ruth's possession belong to him.
Jeez.
Why does he have 18 cell phones? And wait, he has 17. So who owns the last phone? And why did Ruth have it?
So many questions.
What, you don't have 18?
We'll never know the answers to.
You don't have 18 cell phones? You don't have 18? What is it? Like the insanity plea? It's a bunch of bullshit. I get so irritated with that whole insanity thing. And this new kid, this Luigi kid, him being insane or people feeling sorry for him because he had back surgery. I worked with a broken back. Yeah. You remember? And it's like, oh, but he was in chronic pain. And Elizabeth Warren was talking about that too. And I'm like, I don't care. There are a lot of people with chronic pain. I'm sure there are people right now listening that have chronic pain. You don't see them going out and executing people. Give me a break. I don't feel sorry for that kid. He's a lunatic. First of all, that's the first thing. Second of all, going back to like this guy, the second shooter of Trump, like, so Secret Service can't get this guy from like 5 feet away? Like, get a bunch of rednecks from my neighborhood to be on Secret Service detail. I promise you they'll get him. Get the rednecks.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I just, it's great that Jesse's asking the questions. I just have zero faith that we're going to learn anything because we're only told what they want to tell us. You know what I mean? And that's really true about this whole drone thing. Like the drone thing, we talked about this yesterday, but this continues to be, it's not just New Jersey. I mean, it's being, these drones are being seen. I think there was a bunch of them in California. And there's tons and tons of questions about this. The New Jersey state representatives are trying to get answers from Homeland Security. There was a big meeting, I guess, yesterday. One of the state reps was on, I can't even remember what channel. This is probably Fox, talking about how ridiculous it is that we're not just freaking shooting these things down.
Right. Information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones are coming from offshore, that when we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive. From my perspective, if they are American assets, if they're American military, if they're American drones, and I think we owe the American people answers or explanations, but if they're not American made, if they're not American drones, then I think, we owe the American people action. And if no one else is saying, I'll be the first one to say it. If these are not American assets, then we need to get our assets into the air and blow one of these things out of the sky, pick up the pieces and figure out what we're dealing with. Because quite frankly, we're the United States of America. I mean, I think we need to do a better job here.
Right. And like, it's interesting because we talked about this yesterday and I'm like, okay, are these ours? Because I had said, you're not allowed to shoot these things out of the sky. Yeah. You're just not allowed to do that. And then my husband and I had a long discussion about this yesterday. And he's like, listen, like, obviously these things are flying over New Jersey. They're not flying over places in Texas, which is interesting to me because people in Texas probably would have shot them down, especially if they heard these aren't American. If they would have actually gotten wind and somebody would have, like, if we would have heard that and some dude would have said, these aren't American, holy crap, you would have had, again, with the rednecks, right. The country people would have been out there with their shotguns shooting these things down. It's like, just give me the word and we'll shoot them down. Why aren't they doing this? They don't like us, you guys.
It's so crazy because then like mid-afternoon yesterday, Jeff Van Drew was on with Harris Faulkner and said that he had it on good authority with really good sources that these are Iranian drones.
Yep.
And Harris was like losing her mind talking about how big of a deal this was. Here is a bit of their conversation.
Here's the real deal, Harris. I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states, particularly New Jersey, where we know the incoming president has a large home. Also in the same county or nearby where some of these drones in New Jersey have been seen. That capability exists. It's possible some of those drones are here. So I have two questions. How are they fueling them? They have to land somewhere. Drones don't fly forever. Why don't they close down the airspace? Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's the holidays. Shut it down. But if you start shooting things and you don't know how they're fueled, that's going to be mass explosions. This isn't like one spy balloon. Congressman, this is serious.
We've got to bring them down, and we've got to find a way to bring them down. I don't know exactly where they're landing. Obviously, I have some information. And again, this isn't just Jeff Van Drew. Oh, let's get on Harris Faulkner's show and say something outrageous. I'm telling you the straight deal from very high positioned individuals who are telling me this. And
I see that as a green light. Just start shooting them, you guys.
Oh my God!
If they're over your house, seriously. I mean, I may get in trouble for saying that. I don't give a crap. If they're not going to protect us, that's their number one job as the government. Their number one job is to protect you. If you got crap flying over your house and this guy's saying it could be Iranian, I mean, to me, that's a green light. I'm shooting it. I've got people out there have big guns. They can take care of something that's that size. I mean, there's a lot of guns in this country. So I don't know. To me, that's carte blanche. Like, just do it.
I mean, and that sounded seriously legit, right? I mean, like, here's a representative from the state of New Jersey who has it on good authority that this is an Iranian thing. But as you'll hear in just a little bit from the Pentagon, they're completely saying that that's not true, which is really interesting. Like, how are they communicating with each other? How is Congress communicating with the Pentagon? Right. And that's a whole other worry, right? I mean, like, there's so many angles to this. And then there was also news about one person, a US resident, but a Chinaman who is about to board a flight for China, getting arrested for one of these drones. And we'll have that for you in just a second. But we do need to remind you about the huge sale at omahasteaks.com. 50% off site-wide, you guys. Everything is 50% off. They have all the packages we talked about yesterday, how they have the comfort food package. They have like a Christmas dinner package. They have just sides and desserts. You can just create your own. That's the most amazing part, right? You can create your own just based on whatever your family loves. You can save 50% off during their gift buying season. You can gift it to somebody else, and you can get an extra $30 off when you use promo code CHICKS at omahasteaks.com. Do it.
Yeah.
All right.
I just cannot believe that the upper echelon of the military, that nobody in this administration, like Biden, hasn't come out and said, hey, this is happening.
I'm addressing you as the president. You probably want to know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing that sucks about this administration. Well, one of the 1,000 things that sucks about this administration is that everybody's out there wondering, we don't know what's going on. They owe that to us to tell us this is what it is. If they don't know what it is, That is a huge problem.
Well, that was yesterday, right? The FBI was saying, we don't know. We have no idea.
It's like Kash Patel would have known. He would know. He'd know what it is. And then he'd be telling us, this is what's going on. And then you'd have Trump standing behind him or, like introducing him to do a press conference. And he would be saying, this is what's going on. This is how we're going to handle it. We're going to handle it.
Right.
Nobody's
Don't you worry
anything.
your pretty little head about it. We've got you. That's how they're supposed to be functioning.
And this is what is astounding to me about Democrats. It's like Democrats don't want that. They want toddlers running the country, which is precisely what's happening right now. I want adults in charge running this country. This is a perfect example. This drone thing. This shouldn't be happening. We should know exactly what's going on.
And then there was this arrest of Yinpiao Zhou from Brentwood, California, arrested on a federal criminal complaint for allegedly flying a drone over and taking photographs of one of our Space Force bases.
So China.
Exactly. And so apparently he is a lawful permanent resident of the United States, but he's back and forth between the United States and China all the time.
Shocker.
And so he has committed a crime. Like they're saying that he may face a sentence of 4 years in federal prison. The FBI is investigating. I don't know how confident we can feel about that.
He may face, God, I swear.
I know, right?
But listen, if you guys don't pay your taxes, you definitely go to jail.
Right, especially if you're behind by like $6.
Right.
Don't even think about it.
$6 is really important.
And then this was the tweet that I think had everybody talking about. Well, actually, this is not the tweet. Hang on. I wanted to show you this. This is a tweet that was kind of making the rounds. I don't know who this person is or who his connections are, but he said, I'm hearing increasing reports from my fellow service members within the military that the New Jersey drone situations are our own drones tracking a possible biological nuclear weapon that is going to be detonated in the near future. Not to make everybody panic or anything, but that seems like a big deal. And so if that's true and they're keeping that kind of stuff from, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Yeah. But again, that's also the kind of information that hopefully like Kash Patel, all those people that are going to be getting it, they need to be in now. They need to be in right now. And of all the stuff, it is very sketch that this is happening. The timing of it is very sketch to me.
Super sketch.
Yes. It is super sketch. And this is the thing. I was thinking yesterday, I was in my car and, I do all the thinking in my car and in the shower. And I started thinking everything has been going so well. Like all the pics, after we talked to Sean Spicer, all these pics are really great with the exception of the Surgeon General. The pics are really great. I'm really liking everything that's happening. The momentum has been really great. But then there's like this thing in the back of my mind that says, hey, Daisy, like when things are really going well, what can go wrong? You know what I mean? And then I start going, oh God, like what? This is the kind of stuff that wigs me out. This is the stuff that makes me a little crazy because we got to get past the finish line and we're not there. We're just not. There's too many things that can go wrong between now and January 20th. And this is one of those things. Like I'm thinking, what are they doing? They could sabotage. They could do all sorts of weird things. It's like they still don't want this guy in office. They don't want our guy there. They don't want us to win. They hate America. Remember how much they hate America? They hate you. And so that we still have time. It's like, what, 39 days? That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time.
Right.
But and the state reps in New Jersey are getting there. They have had it. So there was one, his name is Brian Bergen. They had a Department of Homeland Security briefing on the situation in New Jersey. And he was so irritated by the lack of information that he freaking walked out and talked to reporters about why he walked out. Here he is.
All right. So you're here today. You were just inside. You walked out. Why?
I walked out because it was worthless. It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything, okay? It was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it, but they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. I drove 2 hours to be here today, spent an hour in there. I got to drive 2 hours back. The biggest waste of 5 hours in my entire life.
So why do you think they called this meeting?
No idea. Why would you call a meeting to tell people you don't know anything? I have no idea. And then when the legislators would ask questions, there were no answers. Here's the most frustrating part. The colonel of the state police said that he had a helicopter of his flying over above one of these drones, a 6-foot drone or something, I can't remember exactly what he said, and he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. Where'd it go? Who knows? Didn't want to follow it because you didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, honestly.
Do they have any idea where these drones are originating?
No, they don't. They would. Maybe if they followed that sucker to when it landed, they would know, but they don't. This is a complete lack of effort, in my opinion, on trying to figure this out. This is not about ability. We have the technology, we have the people, we have the training, we have the resources, we have the money. It's just a lack of effort. I mean,
Why?
I don't know. They should be saying, you know what they should have done today with productive use of our time, if they didn't know anything? Come in there and say, hey, legislators, we don't know anything. But if you get us these 10 things, do these 10 things for us, and the governor calls in this kind of action, we can figure it out. Will you help us? And then we would have helped them. But instead, it was just excuse after excuse, and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
I don't blame him.
And it's DHS. It's led by the most worthless, useless Mayorkas ever.
Right.
And so we shouldn't expect any better from them at this point.
But it goes back to, it's kind of like, why didn't they solve the border problem? Why don't they want to solve this? Why don't they want to solve problems? Why? Because they hate America and they want to destroy it. Why do they want to do this? Why aren't they wanting to solve this problem? Obviously, because they want to cause it, or they want it to come to fruition, whatever it is. I mean, listen, they've proven themselves to me in the past. So that's the logical conclusion that I'm going to come to.
Yeah.
They've shown me.
And then you hear from Representative Andrew. I mean, you guys heard him with Harris Faulkner. He was positive. He was not dancing around this. He was not like, this is a maybe. He was like, this is from Iran. This is like a mothership that's on the off the East Coast that's responsible for this. So reporters asked the Pentagon spokesperson yesterday if that was true. And here's what happened.
Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time, we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but, at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the East Coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
Oh my God. Oh
okay, so
yeah,
what the hell?
Right, that was she was useless.
Right,
but listen, drones are used for two things, right? Spying and killing. Okay, so who's gonna? I mean, it's like those two things are not good things.
Yeah,
those are the two purposes that they serve, you guys. Spying
and how
killing.
Can they keep saying it's not this, it's not that? We don't have any evidence that it's this or that, and then rule those things out. I mean, you either know or you don't know, but you can't just say, no, what Jeff Andrews said is wrong until he's been proven wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
All of this is just freaking crazy.
It is. And it just shows how either they're so inept that it is beyond the pale. The ineptness is just, it's too much for me to even, it hurts my brain. How these people are not equipped to do their jobs.
Yeah.
Or they're malicious as hell. And they're so evil that they're doing something that I don't want to wrap my brain around it. So it's one of the two. It's one of the two.
None of it's good. There are no good possibilities here. And the fact that the Biden administration, in essence, just is ignoring it. They're not saying anything. It's unacceptable. Right. It's unacceptable.
Yep.
And yet here we are.
Yeah,
having
and
to
I
accept it.
I find it like Melody. That's a great question. I said that yesterday. Melody Brim said, "Why is local government investigating?" I totally agree. Like when she said that, oh, local government or local law enforcement is why. It's like, listen, I got nothing against local local LEOs. Like that's great. They're awesome. Like we love our law enforcement officers, but this is not their job to do this. It is not the job of New Jersey police to be doing this. This is like, yesterday I was like, oh my God, everybody is inept. Everybody.
It does feel like that. It really, really does.
Yeah, it's Keystone Cops, man. It's like nobody knows what they're doing, or everybody does know people do know what they're doing, and they're trying to destroy this country. It's one of the two.
That's what it feels like, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh my gosh. At least we look good in our Go Red lipstick. GoRed47.com/chicks, you guys. Listen, got another picture. And like I said, if you want to be featured wearing your Go Red 47 lipstick, please send an email, because I don't always see, posts in Insiders or Locals or wherever. I'm not always on those sites 24/7. So if you email chicksontherightrule@gmail.com with your photo of you rocking your Go Red 47 lipstick, we will show it, just like we're doing with Leslie, who is wearing it, and she loves it. And you will too. Especially the new dark, the MAGA dark red is this gorgeous color. I'm wearing it. It looks different on everybody, which is one of the coolest things about this lip stain.
I have mine on
lasts freaking all day. It is absolutely amazing. You can pre-order that, and they've got a couple specials running right now. You can either do 15% off if you're buying one with code CHICKS15OFF, or if you're getting two or more, maybe you're gifting yourself and a friend or someone in your family, it's CHICKS25 off for 25% off at GoRed47.com/.
The thing is if you shoot one down, because somebody said if you shoot one down, you're going to get arrested. Yeah, but if it belongs to nobody,
right?
Who's going to know? This is the thing. This is at least my theory. It's my working theory at this point. Yesterday, I felt differently because I'm like, okay, well, they belong to somebody, right? At least somebody's got to claim one of these things, and you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to shoot down drones. But if nobody will own it,
except for the one Chinese dude. Apparently.
Right. And that was just one. And if it is a Chinese dude's, I don't give a crap. If it's a Chinese one, I'll shoot it, because what is China going to arrest me? This is the thing. So if it doesn't belong to anybody and nobody will claim these things, just get some ammo.
All right, let's move on. Pete Hegseth still making the rounds in the halls of the Senate. He was asked yesterday how he was feeling, and he showed off the inside of his suit jacket, which was fantastic. Check this out.
What do you hope to talk to Senator Collins about today? What do you hope to talk to Senator Collins about today?
This is how we're feeling today, right here. Feeling great.
Do you feel confident that you're going to get to a confirmation process, get to the hearing?
That jacket is awesome.
Right? That's so awesome.
Where do you get that? That's amazing. I love it. He has socks to match.
You know it. And undies.
Totally. He's exactly
all the matchy matchies.
I bet he wears boxer briefs.
Christopher Wray, there's been a lot of hullabaloo and chatter about whether he will resign in advance of Trump basically firing him, because that's, of course, the role that he has intended for Kash Patel. And so Christopher Wray made the announcement yesterday that he is removing himself from this position at the end of this particular administration. Here is his announcement.
Of careful thought, I've decided the right thing for the Bureau is for me to serve until the end of the current administration in January and then step down.
I'm so
bye.
Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
And then Kash was asked, as he was making his moves through the hallways, he was asked, what do you think about that? What do you think about Wray stepping down? And here is what Kash said.
We look forward to a very smooth transition at the FBI, and I'll be ready to go on day one.
Okay.
I love it. That's fantastic. Bye. Out with the old, in with the new.
That's right. And then it turns out that according to this woman on MSNBC who was talking to Nicole Wallace, Christopher Wray agonized over
Oh,
this decision.
did
He was in
he?
agony about it.
Oh no.
Here she is.
Ray was agonizing in the last several days about doing this, Nicole, because he essentially cleared the decks. He decided not to tempt what he fully expects will happen on the part of Donald Trump, which is a very public and unpleasant firing. It was the odds of that not happening were increasingly small to the point of being infinitesimal.
Poor baby. Was he in agony?
He agonized.
God bless Chrissy.
Well, there's lots of people who are unhappy with him who think that he should not have resigned. And one of those people is John Brennan, who might just be a little bit worried. I don't know.
Really? Okay.
I think it's going to be very difficult. And I'm very disappointed that Director Wray decided to resign. I think Director Wray has carried out his responsibilities with integrity, professionalism during very difficult and challenging times over the last 7 years. And he was appointed to a 10-year term, and he accepted a 10-year term. And right now, his decision to leave tends to legitimize what Donald Trump is doing in terms of appointing someone else. I don't think it would be any problem if he stayed in place and had Donald Trump remove him. I mean, that certainly is a president's prerogative, even though there is a 10-year term on the FBI director role. But by doing this, I do think it's going to leave the men and women of the FBI sort of wondering what their future is going to look like, particularly if somebody like Kash Patel, a real sycophant of Donald Trump, is actually going to get through the confirmation process. So although I respect Director Wray, and I'm sure that his decision was based on how he evaluated the impact on the Bureau and the workforce, I just think that was a decision that should not have been made at this point, and he should have stayed through the transition to the new administration.
He sounded a little shaky, a little nervous there, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's worried. Oh, God. I'm a serial liar. I got a job at MSNBC, but I'm really freaking out.
Worried.
Yeah, he's freaking out a little bit. God bless him. God bless them all. And then every picture of Christopher Wray that they showed in that clip, it's like you cannot take a picture of that guy without him looking like a smug jackhole. That's just his face. It's just his face, you guys.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Also, Dr. Jill Biden was speaking to a crowd yesterday, and people are suggesting that she is like now openly trolling Kamala Harris by using the word from Kamala's campaign, joy. I don't know. Like, you'll have to see this clip and decide, did she mean to do it in a trolly way, or did she just happen to use the word joy as anybody else would? You watch and you decide.
Oh, I hope that you all feel that sense of, peace and light, and that just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, I don't know, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need like this, we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
I think she is trolling. I think she absolutely is.
I don't think she was.
I don't think she is?
Mm-mm. I think she was just saying joy. She wanted to people to feel peace and light and joy, and it didn't occur to her that was a Kamala troll.
And then she's like, you guys are reading into that, so don't read into it. She still despises Kamala, though.
I'm sure that's true.
Hates her. She won't even look at her.
I know, right? And no matter what the event, they will not make eye contact.
She won't look at Kamala, but she will look at Donald Trump. She'll look at him,
Oh my gosh. So Canada right now, very, very butthurt about the fact that Trump has been openly trolling Justin Trudeau ever since Justin Trudeau came down to visit Mar-a-Lago. And he's been saying, oh, well, I mean, if we're going to be subsidizing you, perhaps you should just become a state. Governor Trudeau of the great state of Canada. So he's been joking about that a lot. And now Justin Trudeau's, you can tell he's pissy about it. And he's disappointed, kind of like Barack Obama is, in all of us for not caring more about the state of our country and for neglecting to elect a woman. Here he is yesterday.
Couldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
Who believes it?
So gross.
Seriously, who believes this absolute tripe? That's what it is. He's such an actor, this guy. He is an actor. He is that guy that like just tries to schmooze when I cannot stand guys like this. He is just so gross. And yeah, he's squishy. And if he truly believes that, he should step down and let a woman do his job, because obviously a woman's better at it. If he believes that, he's a liar.
That's a great point. Why doesn't he hand his job
Step
over
down.
to a woman?
He should. Because if he is a feminist, he can't do that job. He's just seriously, he should quit today and let a woman do it. Because obviously somebody with a vagina can do it better than him.
Moving on, we need to talk about the media for a moment. Jasmine Crockett was on with Kristen Welker and openly, without shame, said that no longer can Democrats rely on the mainstream media to get their message out. I couldn't believe she said it, but she said it. And it was kind of amazing that there was no pushback, but here it is.
Why do you think Democrats lost, and what do you think needs to happen by the midterms and the next presidential election in order to find your footing again?
Well, Kristen, no disrespect to you. I think you do great work. But the reality is that those that tune in to traditional news sources, they absolutely went for us. And we know that the standards that you have to live by as an actual journalist are completely different from other platforms. And so we know that we were winning for those that were tuning into the traditional news sources. But when it came down to people getting their news from places that really aren't even news sources, they were going for Donald Trump by 19 points. And that is exactly why we lost. The reality is that we're going to have to play in spaces that we've never had to play and make sure that we're communicating in all ways. Unfortunately, we can't just rely on the mainstream media to get our message across.
Well, she can't. She's kind of right about that, though. I mean, she's right. They can't rely on mainstream media anymore if they want to.
Nobody's watching it.
Nobody's watching because legacy media is dead. Yeah.
Well, and that's interesting because Leslie Stahl and Peggy Noonan, I think Leslie was interviewing Peggy Noonan about a new book, and they were talking about the media and whether or not mainstream media, legacy media, if you will, has lost their luster, and if there is a worry about mainstream media going away. Peggy Noonan doesn't think it's ever going to really go away. She thinks that there's always going to be a free press, but Leslie Stahl despairs, you guys. That's actually the word she used. Listen to this part of their conversation.
Nothing's going to stop you from being the free press.
Well, you really are a sunny person, aren't you?
Sunny?
Well, I'm very worried about the press, extremely worried about the press.
Not only for the technological reasons we're all worried about, and not only for the financial tectonic plates moving, but for some other reason. What one?
Well, for example, I once asked Donald Trump, why do you keep pounding on the press? This was right after he won in 2016. You know, it's kind of boring. You say the same thing over and over, and you won. You know, it's time to drop it. Why do you do it? And he said, I do it and I repeat it because the more I do that, the less people are going to believe you when you say negative things about me and whatever else.
Totally.
And it's happened. If you watch the opinion of us, how many people trust the press anymore? I mean, we're way down there with the lawyers.
Yeah.
This is really rough, as you know.
You're way down there with Congress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're way down there with Congress, but we're way down there. And I despair. Seriously, I worry greatly. And I think there are other institutions that have been suffering. And you're right not to blame Donald Trump 100%, obviously. Started many years before. But we're at a point where if the President of the United States is going to say legacy media is dead. Well, I guess Musk said that. Legacy media is dead.
And he wants it dead. He wants other media.
But it is kind of, sort of hobbling right now.
I mean,
no,
she's
so
right.
despairs.
She's become despaired about it. But I mean, she's right. But the thing about these people, though, is that they can't look inward and figure out why it happened. It's because you guys aren't journalists anymore. You're propagandists. It's all about propaganda. You're shills for the Democrat Party. That's what you are.
And she mistakenly believes that it's somehow Trump is doing something sinister. He's actually just shining a light on how dishonest they've been. And she can't see it. She just, like you said, she cannot look inward about it.
Yeah. And it's not even all Donald Trump. Some of us figured it out ourselves. Some of us just did that years ago. Some of us just started companies like you and I, where we just did alternative things. And then people gravitated towards that because they were sick and tired of your shit, Leslie. And so go figure. Some people are just smart. They don't have to look at Donald Trump to get every single morsel of information. They don't just look to him. They look themselves because, again, they look down. These people, you know, elitists like her and Peggy look down on the American people. That's another thing that the press does. They think they're up here and people are not. We're smart enough to figure it out. You know, everybody here that's listening to us right now, they're smart enough to figure it out. And they do that. And they can't handle that. They think that people are dumb. People aren't dumb. Americans aren't dumb.
Well, another question that Leslie had for Peggy was whether or not Kamala lost because of her sex, because she's a woman. And I thought it was really interesting what Peggy said about that question. Here it is.
So Kamala Harris, is it because she was a woman? No. Here's how I see it. There will certainly be a woman elected president of the United States in our lifetime. She will most likely be a Republican, I think a moderate conservative.
I thought that was so interesting.
It's interesting. I don't know if I agree with it, but it's interesting.
I might.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the first one will be a Republican.
I think the first one will be a Republican, but I don't know if it'll be in that chick's lifetime.
Well, that's true.
She's pretty old. Just putting that out there. But yeah, I absolutely agree with her that I think it'll be a Republican woman.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jesus.
Which is exciting.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Mm-hmm.
And I think that there is some unity happening at post-election of Donald Trump. And actually, this is pretty amazing coming from CNN. This guy's talking about a new CNN poll about this transition period and how they think it's playing out. And Donald Trump is enjoying some favorability ratings that he has never seen before. Again, this is from CNN.
Majority of Americans, 54%, say they expect him to do a good job as president. And we asked specifically, do you have confidence in all of these areas about how Trump will perform and his ability to handle it? And once again, as we saw throughout the campaign, the economy is issue number one of his strength. 65%, 2/3 of Americans in this poll say they have some or a lot of confidence in Trump's ability to manage and handle the economy as president. And you see Russia, Ukraine followed there, then immigration, and his leadership skills, his what he intends to use his power for, whether that'll be responsibly not, a bit lower. But again, all of this is majority support. So that is where things stand right now.
I mean, those are huge things. The economy, immigration, appointing the best people. Those are really big things because everything else will fall into place.
Right.
So it's all good stuff. But this is the thing. It's like when you look at the numbers there, they all were above 50%.
Mm-hmm.
That includes Democrats.
Mm-hmm. That's why I thought, maybe there's something to this whole unity idea. I mean, maybe this is our chance if people don't freaking screw it up.
I think a lot of the people on the left knew that he was capable. They just had such mental illness with the TDS garbage. Their brains were so rotted with TDS that they were told, they were brainwashed into thinking that he was this terrible guy and I'm not supposed to like him. I can't say that out loud, but they knew damn well he could handle things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's absolutely right. I don't like to let a show go by without mentioning God. Jennings.
He is your new Ron DeSantis.
He kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, this is an extraordinary clip because he looks mad. Like at the very end of this, I feel like he's about to lose it. You know what I mean? Like
Really?
he's so angry. It's not that Abby Phillips host. It's the one we showed a clip of her yesterday. It's another host was filling in for Abby Phillips. And she was saying, they were talking about the Daniel Penny case. And she was basically saying that the real victim is Jordan Neely and his family, because he's the one that died as a result of this incident.
God.
And Scott Jennings was just not having it. And then she got personal, and you can see it all over his face. He is not taking this well.
Do go after people all the time for a variety of things.
You keep referring to Neely as the victim. I think Penny is the victim in this case, and I think the people on that. I think people on the train are the victims.
I have a tendency to call the people who die a victim. We have different ideas about that, but to my mind, someone lost a child, and I'm always going to feel for that person. That's just how I'm built. It's like a Christian thing.
Oh my God.
But the reason why I'm asking is,
are you saying I'm not a Christian?
I'm not at all. I just want to make sure that you understand it's a values-based comment.
Are you saying I don't have any values?
Not a political one.
Are you saying I don't have any values? No, Scott, she's not saying that.
He is, but he needs a clip for the internet, so I need to like
exactly.
But in the meantime.
What a biatch.
He's mad. He is mad. Look at him. He's pissed.
Well, this is what they do. And they have to invoke God like when it's convenient for them. God,
right?
I hate it when Democrats do that crap. I hate it. You know who hates it too? God. Putting that out there.
True. Anyway, that was something. See that jawline clench a little bit?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it wasn't hot, because it was kind of hot.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
I figured you probably thought that was hot, the whole jawline clenching thing. She was like, he's mad.
Well, and speaking of Daniel Penny, I know we showed a couple clips from his interview with Judge Jeanine yesterday, but there was another one that came out where he's talking about what he would say to the jury, for acquitting him. And I just love him, you guys. He's such a good guy. Just watch this clip. He's so dear.
A jury of your peers, Danny, felt unanimously, beyond a reasonable doubt, that you committed no wrongdoing. What would you say to them?
I'd like to give them a hug.
Oh.
I'd like to thank them. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it takes a lot of courage, especially in this climate in New York City, to stick up for me.
I mean, and he would know a thing or two about courage, you know?
Right. I just love that clip.
I know. I love him too. Right. What a good he gives me hope for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
God,
Yeah.
It makes me emotional when I see that. What a good guy.
Yeah, truly, truly, truly so good. Interesting thing. I don't know I think this was hosted by the New York Times, maybe, but there was like this really diverse panel of people doing post-election kind of post-mortem. And it included Kevin McCarthy, Van Jones, Maggie Haberman, I think, or Maggie somebody from Wall Street Journal, Kellyanne Conway, lots of people just kind of dissecting why did the Democrats screw this up so badly. And we have a couple clips to share from it. The first one is of Kellyanne Conway, who always has this she's so eloquent about the way that she describes things, and she does it just off the cuff in such an amazing way.
She's really good.
Yeah, I mean, she's just phenomenal. And so she's talking to the panel about the fact, because so many of them, like we said earlier, cannot look inward. They refuse to see what's right in front of them. And she calls them out on it. And it's just great. Here's Kellyanne.
The reason that President Biden could not step aside is people didn't have confidence in the competence of Kamala Harris. And then all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that she has worked hard. She does speak well. The American people saw it differently. And I'm relieved to hear that very few lessons, it sounds like, have been learned by my Democratic colleagues.
Oh wait, I'll get my turn. Oh wait.
I hear yours, but let me just say this: every
how many last points you gonna do?
I got this. Well, they're all good ones.
They are great.
I'm not here spinning. They're really great
They are
points, and I'm not here spinning and pretending that this election. A lot of this conversation, respectfully, sounds like the election didn't happen yet. We've talked about the same stuff over and over again. The fact is this: I said it a year ago. I'll say it again because it was just raised. The Democratic Party right now. Every day they wake up, it's still January 6, 2021 on the calendar. They get an electric vehicle, they get an abortion. You're out of touch with the public. This election was a rejection of wokeness, and people, every state went more red except Nebraska and Washington State. That is a sweep. That is a mandate. That is President Trump coming into office and the American people saying, please make my life safer, more secure, more affordable. Please get us out of these foreign engagements. And I think the always wrong, never Trumpers who had unlimited money cost the party, cost the Democratic Party, which they say they're not even a member, another presidential election.
I love it so much.
Right?
It's because to us, that is progress. To them, progress is living in 2021 and getting in their electric vehicle and going and getting an abortion.
Yep.
That to them is somehow progress. You're freaking lunatics. You know? And
somebody
they
asked how she can still be married to her husband. She's not. They are divorced.
They're so divorced. Yeah, but it's still, I mean, I still wonder how she had relations of a sexual nature with him
Why do you
4
have
times.
to do that? Why do you have to
Because
put thoughts into everybody's head?
Because I do that. This is what I do. Because I am a giver, you guys. All right? I'm here to give.
Oh my God.
4 times. 4 times.
Well, Van Jones actually, he's one of the more introspective Democrats for sure. And so he does get it to some degree. He's never going to see the light entirely, but at least he does say the things out loud about the screw ups that the Democrats had during this election. He got his knowledge from his teenage kid, which was kind of funny, but it's absolutely apropos when it comes to, dissecting how this went down. Here's Van.
And I'm telling you, we are way off. The entire political class is way off. First of all, digital is a new door knocking. You got to understand that. We were laughing our butts off at Donald Trump for suspending his door knocking campaign and letting Charlie Kirk and Elon do a bunch of stuff online. We said, these guys are idiots. These guys are stupid. Then you start knocking on these doors. You know what people come to the door with? Their phone in their hand. They're in a 24-hour digital surround sound that has nothing to do with CNN, has nothing to do with any stuff that we do. I asked my son, I got a teenage son, I asked him, who are the most influential people in the world today? I'm thinking to myself, he's going to say Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z. He says, Kai Cent, Aiden Ross, Jinxie, and Sketch. I don't know who he's talking about. I said, what platforms are you on? He goes, I'm on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. I said, that sounds like you need to go to the hospital. What are these platforms? I'm telling you guys, the mainstream has become fringe, and the fringe has become mainstream. There are platforms, there are people out there that are getting 14 million streams, and we're on cable news getting 1 or 2 million. And so there is a whole world out there. Kellyanne Conway, I hate to agree with her, but I do a lot of times. Donald Trump understood that and we didn't. And that's not just Democrats that don't. The entire political class is way off, way off, way off.
Yeah, and we preached that for years. I mean, that was like, seriously, for the first 10 years of being chicks on the right, we would be like, we as Republicans don't use culture. We don't have a handle on the culture. The Democrats have it. They have got a lock on it. And then Trump came in. And honestly,
Barron.
I think, and Barron, I was just going to say, honestly, I think Barron was the one that said, Dad, you got to do this. You got to get on the podcast. You got to use social media. And we begged for the Republic. So it wasn't the Republican Party. It was Trump.
No.
It was Trump that did it. It was his specific campaign because the Republicans still suck at it. Okay. But Trump did it. And he did it well, and he understands it. And now the people that he has surrounded himself with are part of that ecosystem. And it's great. It's fantastic because the Democrats didn't know what hit them, and they're not part of it. They don't want to be part of it. And a lot of the alternative news sources, the alternative media, we're part of that, I guess. We're part of the alternative media, I guess you could call us. It's mostly conservative, because legacy media is mostly liberal, and they have sort of, they've disconnected themselves from us. I'm okay with that.
Well, we've disconnected ourselves because we were tired of not hearing anything that resonated. You know what I mean? So we just created our own
And that
place to resonate.
right. That was one. I mean, like when we started Chicks on the Right 15 years ago or whatever, it was because of that. It's like there's nothing out there that looks or sounds like us. Everything's wonky. Everything's annoying. Everything's elitist. It's like, I don't like it. So let's start something. And if people watch us, cool, or listen to us, cool, or read us, cool. And then people did. And that showed us that like we're not alone.
Right.
And look at where we are now. You know what I mean? Here we have all these wonderful people
Power
with
of
us.
community.
Right. Right.
I don't know if this is a concept video or if this has actually happened, but there is a plan, or it has been an executed plan, that there's a new Trump Tower in Saudi Arabia that is freaking gorgeous, you guys. Look at this.
Wow.
I mean,
real? That is
well,
real?
I don't know. I don't know if this is real yet or if this is what it will look like when it's done. But this is happening and it's freaking amazing, right?
Why can't they build that here? Why does it have to be in
This
Saudi
should be
Arabia?
on the Vegas Strip.
Right. I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. I'm never going there. So why
No,
can't they
thank
build
you,
that
but no.
here? That is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing. Also, speaking of Trump, there is I saw this on TikTok. There's a guy who's full on British, like he is a Brit with the accent and everything, and he's giving a lesson on how to do a Trump impersonation. So to hear him go from his like proper British accent into a really good Trump impersonation is kind of amazing, but he tells you the exact steps you need to take in order to sound like Trump. Here he is.
So this is how I personally do my own Trump impression. I start by constricting my throat, creating that gravelly bass. Then you'll add the lips and the teeth. And then the accent is just comes out. When you tense up the throat even more, you start to get the accent and you pull everything through the tiny little hole at the end of the teeth with the tongue. And then you lean into the eye. And when you lean into the eye and you add the hand, always always defensive, but always attacking. Then you start to get the impression that you're looking for. And if you have doubts with the impression, you just got to lean into the eye. Lean into the eye.
Oh my God.
And from there, and be totally convinced. You got to be totally convinced. Because if you're not totally convinced, you're not doing it right.
Isn't that guy? That is fantastic. Oh my God. That's crazy.
I know, that just cracked me up. Also, Gwen Walls is a lunatic. And I think even Tim knows it. You know what I mean? Like it's gotten to the point where he's kind of getting embarrassed by her. So I don't know how this is public, but there's a video that they made for their daughter who apparently is not with them for Christmas or isn't yet. And so they wanted to show Hope the Christmas tree that they put up. And they're so cringe, you guys, but mostly Gwen, who immediately starts singing and then Tim shuts that shit down. And it's just, why is this like available for the public to see? This is what I don't understand.
Right.
Here it is.
Hands
Little
here
hands on the back.
are the angel wings.
So here we go, on the tree.
Not on a real tree, but on this family tree. Oh, Dad got
that
it on
tree.
there. Joy to the world.
All right, there you go. I know you're missing your Griswold family. Decorate your house for Christmas. We're thinking of you. Love you, Hope. Bye.
Why have we been subjected to that?
Well, I don't know. They want to stay relevant, I guess. He is a nut job.
Why?
He's like, stop singing. He's like, stop. Just stop.
Right?
He's also like, I like men. Don't want to be married to
Oh
you.
my gosh. Well, before we get to My Pillow Talks, one more video. This is just, it's like nobody learns from the Bud Light thing. Right? I mean, we all
Yeah.
know what happened to Bud Light with Dylan, what's his face?
Mhm.
And what a colossal fail that was. Google Shopping has put out an ad, and they could have just used a normal family, you know what I mean? Looking for Christmas presents for each other, but instead they chose this.
So dry. This winter dryness is not it, especially when I have so many holiday looks to pull off. Thankfully, I know just the thing. And it's in stock nearby. Hydrated skin is a gift to everyone. No wrapping needed. Happy holidays to me.
Did they not get the message on November the 5th? We're all sick of this crap.
Right.
We're all
I
sick
can't
of it.
believe they're still doing it.
Yeah. They did not get the message, apparently. Because I mean I want to say they got ratioed on, but you see it on Twitter and people are just like, seriously, Google? Come on.
Right.
Come on. Like a man, like women are sick of biological women are sick of this crap. We're sick of it. Just stop it.
I mean, it's so purposeless and pointless and
insulting.
Yeah.
Insulting, especially to women.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough already.
All right. It is time for some My Pillow talks, you guys. There's no way I could ever get my husband to play this game ever. And this is you got to have a lot of trust in your spouse and their aim to play this game. You'll see what I'm talking about. I would absolutely never be able to do this correctly, and I would hurt people. And that's why Ron will never play it with me. Here it is.
Oh my God, there's no way.
And just aim for the...
Why? Why would we ever do this? Why?
I told you! Please hit it, please hit it.
One.
There's no way. No way.
Let's go for it.
What was that? That was perfect. Oh, that was perfect.
Son.
Crushed my mouth.
Like, that's perfect.
2, 3.
Oh, my fucking... No, we done. We done.
2, 1.
Oh,
and then
I
he's
think there's
like,
another one.
We're never doing it again.
Oh.
Don't.
What the heck? You didn't even let me get it set. I just talked about how...
There's
Would
no
Greg
way.
let you do that?
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. I just don't. I don't want to.
That is crazy. Absolutely
Uh-uh.
crazy.
No.
Cats. I remember when I had a cat that if your cat was meowing at you for whatever reason and you meowed back, they do not like that.
They don't?
They
Really?
do
Why?
not like it because they feel like you're mocking them and they just get pissed. And so there's a lot of examples of cats just being absolute dicks here. But mostly they're being provoked because they're getting meowed at. In one case, there's cats will lick you sometimes, but if you lick them back, also they get very, very mad.
Really?
Here's some examples.
Oh.
It's the second I get it.
Oh my gosh.
Не надо.
Simon.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
You want to say hi?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Daddy.
Jeez. You guys.
Oh my God.
I don't know about this cat thing. I think it's gonna have to live outside.
You just need the right cat, but it's very hard to choose the right cat. I mean, you just don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a box of chocolates.
Lizzie said that cats are the devil's minions. I'm starting to believe that. I mean, we're gonna have to perform an exorcism if we get one delivered from the universe.
Plus, I don't think cats never make like that just amazing sound that dogs make when they're like relaxing and like
They go,
settling in. Yeah, they're little
Yeah.
growly, grunty things.
Right.
And no one makes it better than a basset hound. I know you love a basset hound.
Oh, I love hounds.
Listen
great.
to the gloriousness.
God, I love look at all that skin. greatest. Mama, do it more. I love it. Ugh.
This is the best sound.
Love hounds. The greatest.
We do have a few Venmos from yesterday, and we also have a locals tip from today. Minnesota Solar Baby said, "Good morning, beautiful jerks. I ordered the MAGA Red 47. Love it. Went to pre-order the dark red, and the code doesn't work. Or is it just me? I'm the problem. You should be able to use Chicks 15 off. Hopefully that works. If it doesn't, email chicksontherightrule@gmail.com and we will get you hooked up." And then also from yesterday, we had Nancy Hunter who said, here's a thought, 100% of the first 2 years of Biden's pension should be given over to all the U.S. citizens suffering from the recent hurricanes.
Yes.
That'd be great. It's never going to happen.
No,
but
it won't
great.
happen.
And then from Doreen Moore, she said, "Please wish my husband Joe a happy belated birthday. It was Wednesday. We watch you together. P.S. He hates when you skip talks. Merry Christmas, chicks."
Love it.
We don't skip the talks. We're not skipping them.
Okay, we have some over here. Samantha Capehart, "I'd like to wish my Claire Bear a happy 7th birthday. She loves asking if the chick sent me another package whenever I get mail. Merry Christmas." Love it. Alexandra, "I want to give a shout out to Sam and Sophia, who will be newlyweds in a month. I can't wait to see them in Wales and be a Tita, aunt in Croatian, to their newborn daughter, due in the spring of 2025. Kimberly Donaldson, "My son and I made a tradition years ago that instead of gifting family and friends, we stalk folks at Walmart and pay for their groceries, toys, etc. It has been amazing. Oh my God, I love that.
That is the coolest.
I love that so much." Gaylor 5, "My 7-year-old grandson named their pug Cheese."
I love it when
Great
kids
name.
name animals.
Great name for a pug. Michelle Boyd, "Just wanted to wish you ladies a Merry Christmas. Being this granny is surrounded by 16 grands for the season. Love you ladies."
Wow.
That sounds glorious. Wendy, "Pew pew MFers, AR-15 owner here." You go, Wendy.
Go.
Kristen Thompson, "There were 11 drones flying over my girlfriend's home last night in Morris County, New Jersey. Oh my God. When I left there, one was following the street that I was on, almost like it was mapping it out. It's very scary here." Yeah, that is scary.
What is going on?
Yeah, and it's weird that it's in that area. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? What is it about that area that they're there? Because you don't see them in Texas.
Yeah, that
See 'em
is.
here. It's a little bit weird.
Wow.
You guys, thank you for all
That
the
is crazy. Yes. Thank
all
you.
the
thank you,
stuff and
thank
the things.
you.
We appreciate it. Are we bringing it in?
Bringing it
All right, everybody,
in.
bring it in. Bring it in. Everybody have a wonderful Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. Super excited about that. Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.